I've got nothing to say to you. Why are you wasting...
Again? I can't believe this shit.
He might be wearing a disguise.
Yes, it's a hobby of mine. Okay, why not? Let's do the old thing over again. You think he was hanged as a cover-up? To hide the shooting? Okay, well... I don't know. Why are... Oh my god, there's more.
Yes? What, it means I'm a patrol officer, sir.
Again? I can't believe this shit.
There's something that binds you to him. Some kind of an outfit, maybe. A uniform. I want to say, yes, I think.
Fucking politics again. You know what I'm more interested in? You solving the case you're on. I'm passionate about that.
Fuck, does Kuno care? No, Kuno doesn't give a fuck about books.
Oh my god, I told you that shit is lame!
Shut up, see.
Now they're gonna take you to lame prison! Deny everything, Kuno.
Kuno's not gonna say anything without his lawyer.
Lame. That rings some bells. Could this be connected to Night City? Yeah, that's pretty lame. Sounds like art.
Oh god, Kuno, no! It's gonna happen now. They're gonna make you...
Stop it, see. No one's gonna make anyone...
There's definitely something going on here. You should check out Kuno's shack, the one with the pig's head.
Kuno doesn't...
All around you, the hisses and chirps of locusts fill the musky air. Like skyscrapers, spires of dirt and sand.
Well, detective, It appears you've solved the case of the locusts. For the missing locust case, which is a sub-case of the imaginary insect. Yes, I feel we are nearing a real breakthrough. If anything, the presence of the locust points to the opposite. But what do I know?
Use your powers of deduction. You knew the magic bug was nowhere near here.
I'll let you handle the Kuno side of things.
Fuck does Kuno? Yeah. Kuno took the bugs.
So it wasn't the phasmid. A wave of disappointment washes over you.
It's not Bugtown. It's the city of locusts. Locusts aren't just bug shit. They come out of the sky like a fucking shadow. Shit descends.
Stop!
Locusts coming down like a shadow. This must be the night.
Yeah, Locust City.
There's a tug of war over the name of his fantastic. The girl forces herself to watch. The lameness is causing her physical pain. The damage may be permanent.
Kuno, the pig wants to help you.
An artist? Maybe I am an artist. You hear that, everyone? I'm a fucking artist now.
Oh my god, Kuno! He's gonna make you totally lame in, like, 3 seconds. Don't let him, Kuno.
Yo, fuck you, see? Kuno can be what Kuno wants to be. Kuno's his own man. Kuno's free. Kuno made himself into Kuno. Kuno can make himself into anything. Kuno can make himself into...
Don't make yourself into a pig, Kuno.
In it, you hear snow melting, dripping from the eaves. Someone closing a window. Without a word, for once, the boy is lost for words. He turns completely red now, with splotches of white beginning to appear across his face.
I don't give a shit. I don't need the locusts anyway. Shit is...
The girl's face appears again, above the fence, just long enough to make eye contact with...
It don't mean anything. It's shit. Kuno just likes to focus. Kuno likes to pig. You really shouldn't have fucked with Kuno City. Now it's all fucking lame. Kuno's gonna let the fucking locusts die. The fuck are they trying to catch anyway? With the traps?
He recognizes the name.
Bitches think Kuno doesn't know shit. The fuck out of here. Kuno's tired of this shit. Fuck does Kuno care? Kuno doesn't fucking...
I'll die before I squeal.
Hello, officer. I think so. It was just a child.
Thank you for telling us, sweetie. This is good news, right? It means we can try again.
She acts chipper, but something's changed in her tone.
Yeah, you're right. We just need to restock the empty trap.
Darling, I told you to take it easy. You're getting sick.
You're right, you're right. We can come back next season, when it's warmer.
Of course, sweetie. You've helped us so much already. Everyone would understand if you...
We are getting really carried away with this, aren't we?
He wants to see this tale through as much as you.
Really? It's too much, officer.
What Morel means is...
Here's a fresh batch of locusts. They should slide right down the funnel. And thank you again. We will definitely mention you.
Wow. Co-discovery. You'd be famous. You'd show them all.
Oh, hello, sweetie.
Just an ordinary wall. Nothing to see here.
You're back. Good. What can I help you with?
By love, you did.
She is memorizing your badge number.
Pleased to meet you, Lieutenant W. Freighter Dubois. I am glad to see a man of high qualification. The situation is precarious. What can I help you with, Lieutenant Freighter?
How about you share your information on the lynching, now that you've seen his badge?
The goalposts have moved, Lieutenant. In the absence of... I cannot rescind that promise. To my knowledge, the drivers are still at the roundabout. I will tell you everything I know when you've finished with them. My plan is to share information. The only way to do that now is by telling my employers you've kept your end, which I hope you will, because let me tell you, we are in dire waters.
How bad can the info she has be?
The sooner the probe is finished, the sooner I can share crucial information with you. Now, is there anything I can do for you in the meanwhile? Tea, perhaps? That's the man who was killed. I'm afraid this is a discussion for once we've cleared the lynching question. better not tie the forestay to the backstay on this. I hope there is something else I can help you with. More lessons in basic reality? My favorite part of the day. Go ahead, ask me anything. A bird? A Svenicid? A flightless bird of the polar regions? Some sort of krill hunter? No, wait. You're an... Of course you're not, my dear. I'm just terrible at guessing. Ah! This is the pier of Rue de Saint-Ghislain, 33A or 2. A pre-revolutionary tenement. Old buildings are called tenements, you see. And new buildings, bâtiments. After les bâtiments nouveaux. But 33A and this one used to be 8 to 10 stories tall. A real high-rise by the standards of the last century. Mostly the urban middle class, I believe. This was once primo real estate.
Splat, splat.
You could be wrong, but from here it appears as if she's running the brush across her throat in a soaring motion.
Wonderful. The girl in the old lady rags looks like a sullen and rebellious member of a Yes, you and I belong to the supraculture. We're common, the herd. The musical... She prefers a fantasy world, an infraculture with its own dress code and vernacular. It is an illusion, I'm afraid. There is no... Young people who dye their hair funny colors and wear old people's clothes are stupid. All right. What next?
Suddenly, you're not so sure you're part of the supraculture.
And what would that be? I can see that, yes. I dabble in those nothing infra about disco, baby. Those days are long behind me. And even in the early 30s, I would say I was more the new, a cultural era. And the name of the decade it ravished, the 30s. It involved lots of partying, as you might imagine, and champagne-colored everything. By the looks of it, that would have been when you came of age. Now, wasn't it Guillaume Le Million who said, if you can remember the new, you weren't there? These are unimportant times, Detective. For the big time.
The smile of a predator. No doubt what she's got in mind.
The revolution. It's quite easy. Every 100 years or so, our species gets together to decide what's next, who gets shot in the head, and who gets the mineral rights. Those would be the communists. Generally speaking, 40 million people got shot in the head during the World Revolution. But the communists, they all got shot in the head. Oh, and the anarchists too. They shot them well. Did they ever? Before they got shot themselves, they shot 2 million people. Yes, the Red Deluge. Lots of people. Even the king got shot in the head, or thrown beneath a horse, or drowned. The real king abdicated and lived out a long and productive life as a venture capitalist in Grad. I prefer the term risk-averse. King Guillaume was nobody's fool. He could smell a PR disaster brewing, so he got out him and tens of thousands of his wonderfully fascist kingsmen. The liberals got the mineral rights. And by mineral rights, I mean everything. Liberals are usually middle-class people, Detective. Or some were rich enough to stay with the Constitution, with monarchy. Big mistake. Others bet on the revolution. They were called the Ultras, or... They didn't win so much as survive. We were the last ones standing when the war ended. Everyone else got shot in the head.
She's one of them.
To foreign intervention. The coalition. Those people really took the mineral rights. The Liberals took everything that wasn't nailed to the ground. The Coalition of Nations, Grad, Mesk, Vesper, Messina, Oranje, and Sur-la-Clay, the armed center of the world. The Moralists believe in keeping everything exactly the way it is. They believe in mineral, at least not in the same manner and volume as the others do. They are the long-standing provisional rulers of Revachol now, the coalition government.
The rulers of Revachol, and also the world. These guys.
This is their zone of control. They embolden the RCM with crumbs of the same law they took. Technically speaking, you are a moralist. Of course. Not easy to be.
Rooty tooty, pointy.
That's the way of history. The turn of the century revolution? Don't answer it. It's a trick. The revolution began in '02 on the Isla of Grad, though by the end, it wasn't a who, but a what. A pandemic of Zarat, a particularly virulent prion disease, which the authorities in Grad proved unable to contain. Then Mazov came along and overthrew the government. It made people overthrow their governments. Of course not. It was a highly infectious microorganism that destroyed brain tissue. The actual... From Revachol and Grad? Not far. The world managed to cauterize itself. Why? You and I, officer. Our lives in the zone of control.
Something tells you her life and yours are not that similar. Maybe it's because she has a boat and you have that necktie?
No doubt. But we share the same time and position on the planet's crust. That counts for more than you think. A city-state divided into free market zones under the everlasting interregnum. The zone of control is the third incarnation of Revachol, after the failure of the suzerain. Modernity. They developed the marvels of the inter-eslary communication, telematic milieus, radiation, colored plastics. Meanwhile, in Revachol...
51 minus 8 equals 43.
Time flies. The 20s saw a decade of urban war, west of the river leveled, offshore platforms in flames. The 30s? Things settled down in the 30s. Revachol East transformed itself into the world's largest tax haven, with the international community's blessing. For the first time, yes, and quantitative easing. It was a market mirage, unfortunately. The 40s dispelled it. Welcome to reality, baby.
For her to be where she is, Wild Pines Group must have picked the right side.
They picked the winning side. That's why they're here, and others are not. Perhaps it wouldn't have turned out that way had I been in charge. I would have sided with the cannons. If you'd seen the calibers of the thing, 10 of the 14 Indo tribes got it wrong. Feld, Kupri, Tricentennial. Good question. What would you have done differently? And I asked you. Past.
Here's some wisdom, lady. Say the death thing. The cold runs down your spine as you say the word.
I see. A tenth of humanity. The key of history is in the lock. Keep turning at any cost.
The wind stops, and for a moment, there's silence. A dog barks. A gunshot echoes off the walls of...
The age of man is over.
Over? That's entropolism, the very height of late modernity. Evacuate this...
Opinions expressed here do not reflect...
And what is your official position, Lieutenant?
My position, ma'am? My parents got ripped to shreds in the revolution. I would have gone the same way.
Understandable. They are what they are. Who knows? Anyway, enough sentimentality.
Not so fast. Who is she in all this? Ask her who she is. She owes you an answer. It remains a mystery what you mean by this something close. This isn't about you. It's about reality.
Glad to have been of assistance. You're back. Good. What can I help you with? More lessons in basic reality?
It remains a mystery what you mean by this something close. She won't maneuver her way out of this one.
I am the vilest of the vile. I am an ultra.
It's sharp.
An ultra-liberal. It's a type of liberal. Yes. I am the nether creature of the Forbidden Swamp. Perhaps you thought we'd gone extinct. After all, no sane person identifies as an ultra anymore.
In her green eyes, you see a mixture of truth and self-satire. Decades of guilt and...
That's a pity. I hope we can remain collegial, despite my... When the dust settled, the liberals were the only ones left to clean up the mess. By virtue of their survival, they were handed enormous power to shape the future. With due respect to our overlords, the eternal caretaker government.
While a gentle wind sweeps the streets in the rebuilt East, like...
I would not have relinquished sovereignty to the Coalition. Then for my daughters, we had an obligation to defend our sovereignty.
Dark orange flames reflect in her green eyes. An oil fire on the ocean.
Yes, I suppose I am.
Seditious talk, ma'am.
Perhaps. My intellectual vanity...
You're no dummy yourself.
A smart boy getting smarter. On basic... Yes. Whatever else I am, I'm also a mother. And a wife. Now, shall we return to reality?
A strange coldness comes over you as you look at the world. It's on the tip of your tongue. A doubt of sorts, already in your head. But it's not fully formed yet. You have to wait and return to this later.
Glad to have been of assistance. The little that...
Hello again, officers. Have you...
Just an ordinary wall. Nothing to see here. Because you see it, finally. This wall is sublime. All the other walls on all the other houses must make a pilgrimage in adoration of this. O Wall Father.
Huh?
He sounds tired of... You already have the heavy fuel oil to use as paint. It's red. And Cindy the Skull has a paintbrush. This is on.
Sure. If you must.
Hello again, officer.
What for? Well, if it's for art. But what kind of art are we talking about? Sounds like you're just about to live out your self-pity, not make a statement. I can't have shit art on my conscience. Yeah, not gonna hold my breath, Piggy. You look like you'd suck. Everything really.
The woman.
The lights are so pretty when it gets dark.
Hello again, esteemed officer.
You hold in your hand the edges of the paper. The man from here. Medicinal purposes. You stare at the face of The Greatest Innocence by Joyce. A small mountain of colorful board game boxes. There are numerous types of games for all ages. A lot of shelves.
Lousy auras there. No, I've heard they turn people into occult enthusiasts. That they have rituals where they try to summon entities. Wonderful choice, sir. A wholesome family game.
You see rows of toy soldiers. This set of
I think their poverty has been exaggerated for effect. I don't.
What's this? We're getting reports of normal, reasonable, temperate political opinions somewhere in Martinez. The air suddenly feels calmer, more transparent in a strangely tender way. It's time to become a citizen of the Kingdom of Conscience. It is not a place. It is a moment in time that can only arise in the right circumstance. Increment. Yawn. You'd get that. Speaking of, when are you? History's greatest catastrophes have been brought about by people trying to make. That's the genius of Dolores Day. She recognized that progress is meaningless if its gains are lost because of instability. Real, lasting change. Tisk tisk. Just because you live in the present doesn't mean you have the right to place your. You may never live to see the Kingdom of Conscience. Your children. What rationality? What a fucking joke. Do you believe the status quo is preferable to chaos and bloodshed? There you have it. Sometimes holding the line is progress. The kingdom is difficult to comprehend, and even more partly because humanity will need to discard many of the categories that define and limit. It's also post-industrial, post-ideological, and even slow down, Mr. Reasonable. Did you miss the part about compromising and taking things slow? That's right. Remember, real democracy is just around the corner for Revachol. When that real democracy kicks in, a long time from now, we are... Wow, a very large red t-shirt with an impressive... Oh yeah, the print depicts a muscled man striding toward you, a giant sword in each hand, encircled by burning embers. Smells like worn cotton. Worn cotton with a side of...
Sniffing is okay, but please don't try anything on.
You're not imagining it. Photon emissions?
Hell yeah, man. I don't usually carry printed tees, but this one was just pure... A fan? No, I wouldn't go that far. But I do... Most people don't think that the man from Helmdale really existed. But they're wrong. I mean, even if the man from Helmdale didn't exist before the invention of...
Okay.
You sound skeptical. It's not that complicated. Besides, I've been to Kotla, though not quite as far north as the...
His theory isn't exactly incoherent, but its logic does suggest very, very unique energies. Stop talking about this nerd stuff. It will make you weedy.
2 real.
That's dirt cheap.
But why? I sympathize, I do, but this is a for-profit enterprise. Welcome to Helmdale, officer.
All the old boomboxes are there, blinking and waiting to work. You see see rows of toy big men on
Franco-Niger.
alone. They're not all blue. These figurines also wear
This is what the loyalty.
Which one?
this set of
You're probably... I think their poverty has been exaggerated for effect. Okay. Hello again. How can I help you?
feeling warm and enthralled by the movement of light while the mind continues to race forward. A drug developed by the military to treat and prevent radiation sickness. It has psychedelic side effects, and it makes your eyes turn yellow.
I try to keep the shop at a comfortable temperature.
Those triangle patches on his vest, you have a feeling they mean something, like they're similar to the halogen rectangle.
I was with the Emergency Relief Brigade. You know, after the People's Pile disaster. Had to take Perolidon for radiation sickness.
He's taken it for mental and emotional, not physical pain.
A bad idea. Some poor leftist built a particle decay generator in hopes of bringing affordable electricity to underserved communities. It malfunctioned. Radioactive waste everywhere. We were an all-volunteer force. Self-organized.
On the patch, gamma radiation lines crossed with a tough son of a gun this way.
I lived by the river since I was a small boy. There wasn't much the volunteer force could do, however. We wasted years in the river mud. There's a reason why everyone's tried to forget any of it ever happened, and why no one has tried to repair all. So much disappointment, and early deaths. Cancer most. No one's. Everyone's.
So much bitterness.
A bunch of poor people built themselves a primitive nuclear reactor, hoping for the best. The cleanup happened 15 years ago. I was young then. Later, my second aunt died. Left me this shack and all the assorted junk in it. So I came to Martinez. People told me don't go there. It's a shithole. I like the theory more than the story.
Yeah, you gotta get in on those vortices, my man.
Have you tried it before?
The lieutenant steps away, pretending to admire. Go ahead then, he thinks. As long as you can walk straight, I don't care.
Here you go, man.
Yes, darling. That's the coalition government ordained Perolidon. Straight into your gut.
Of course.
The locusts aren't doing all too well, but they're still in there. This isn't the empty trap.
The waves are beginning to die down. Look at those little bastards. Simmer down. Simmer down, bastards. Oh, that's good to know, I guess. Why is it in the sea? An installation. Us poor people are stupid and don't get installations. All I see is a heap of trash. This actually calls for a funeral, I think. Aye. Feels deserved, don't you think? Falling in the line of duty like that and all. Why odd? Our things are a part of our life world. They're made with our human sweat and they share human history. We should care about them as we care about humans.
Life world. Someone's been reading up on last century Gottwaldian philosophers. Play it cool now.
Oh yeah? You won't even be able to get it out of the water before early June. Take it from someone who's been through a few funerals.
That's all we have time for right now anyway. Come back here in June and see how you feel about it then. It's not like it's going anywhere. Yes, that is a pity. But for now, let's focus on the things we do get to do.
Oh? Well, how can I assist you?
Our tenant, the policeman.
The locust. An old door, worn by elements, guards the depot. The wind has blown a sand dune in front of it. The door hasn't been... The trap stands empty near the reeds, powdered with snow. The locusts, dazed from being transported, slowly begin to acclimate to their new... They're not really going to get the chance to get comfortable.
Good, now that's done. When do you think we will return to our... Don't answer that. It was a rhetorical question.
You see a once bright mural towering above you. The signage has peeled off over the years, but you can still make out a slogan used to...